Hello and welcome to another episode of Michael Plays Video Games. This is the wrap-up episode. We're going to be talking about all things Crash Bandicoot, our crazy experiences, the works. As you can tell, we are in separate locations. We're practicing social distancing, but hey, we're still together. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Alejandro. I am just hanging out, having a mug full of liquids and, sitting here talking to my best friend. Though we may be apart, we are intrinsically linked.
Exactly. And that's one of the big things that's, kind of been crazy is trying to figure out how do we still do this show. Because the entire time we record, obviously, we could be in the same room, we could do this. So now we have to practice, take advantage of technology and such to make this show happen. So,
that's what I'm saying. Imagine if this shit happened in 1995. We'd be screwed,
Oh, completely. Maybe, some crappy dial-up connection or something. Yeah. It wouldn't work. But I don't know. I'm excited because there's definitely plenty of things that happened that we need to discuss. So overall, did you like the game? Did you like playing it? I mean, I know it was frustrating, but looking back at it, would you say this is a game that you really liked?
Yeah, okay. Have you ever, I keep thinking about it like this. Have you ever had it where you go on vacation, right? And when you're on vacation, you're like, you're worried about the airplane. You're worried about, getting to your, Airbnb. You're worried about, oh my God, I left this. Okay, look, we got to get to the museum by 3 because at 8 we've got to be at the place to eat. And then it's just a lot of stuff is happening. And then like a month later, you're just, sitting back, and you go, holy friggin' cow. That was an amazing journey I went on, and you have more of a fondness for it looking back. I think that's how I'm feeling about Crash Bandicoot, because playing it was stressful as shit.
Yeah.
As I'm sure everybody's aware.
Oh, yeah.
There were times I would leave your place after recording and my stomach would be in knots, and I
think there were a couple times where I was like, what if this has the exact opposite effect of me, because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to, I've got this video game gospel thing I'm trying to go for. I'm like, okay, it's gonna make things better, it's gonna feel healthier. But I mean, throughout the course I was wondering, I was like, man, because it is a stressful game. It is it can be very difficult as well. But I mean, like I said, you made it. And I guess, yeah, it's like I think you said that because in between shooting, you're like, hey, I'm ready to get back in the shit. So I totally understand that sentiment.
Well, okay, I will say that from playing it, I was starting. Let's highlight that word. I was starting to become less stressed out by stupid, minuscule shit, right? And then we, reached the end of it, and, there was a little bit of lag time, and, COVID and all that stuff happened. So it's been a while since I've had a chance to get back into a game, which I know we're about to. I know we're going to announce what the game is. But, then it was like, okay, I stubbed my toe. I'm throwing a carton of eggs at the wall and screaming. Like I was starting to kind of go back to my old ways,
Well, I think maybe it's one of those things that's best when you're doing it. Because I know... when I played Resident Evil 7 for the first time, and because I would play that at night, I would be like, okay, I'm only doing this as a night game, and I would just do that just to scare the crap out of myself, and just turn the volume up. And I realized that when I went back to like daily life, like just less things bothered or scared me. I feel like I had already gotten out that physical sensation of fear or frustration and just being scared. So I would imagine it works in the same way when it comes to like difficulty and stuff. This is my guess.
No. Absolutely. Yeah. Like if I had boxes to jump on to be able to get some sort of fruit like in my daily life, I found it a lot easier, and I had better tactics. You know what I mean? Like low and slow, much like a London broil or something like that.
Ooh, so you're saying that in real life, if you came across a crate full of Wumpa fruit, you'd be like, I know how many times I got to bounce on it, 5 times, and then it's going to
Let me
explode,
say
all
it.
that stuff, you know?
Yes, exactamundo. You know, if I battled some sort of giant, roided out, you know, koala bear with a cute little butt, I feel like I would know what to do, which is, you know, a little spin attack, you know, when the rock's midair, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think here's the Crash Bandicoot difference, right? Is that what you learn from it is how to better meet the day. You know what I mean? How to be able to get through your day, how to, you know, avoid the pitfalls and you know, constant regressions that, you know, the 4 steps forward, 8 steps back type stuff. And I think Tony Robbins has got to run for his money with this one, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know, Crash is a bandicoot in action. You know, Tony Robbins talks a lot. So, you know, that's one of those things. And, you know, look at it the Crash way. Every day's the next level. You know what I mean? A level.
Oh, that's some next level shit, man.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, look at that. Keep the pun going. Okay. But, okay, so, yeah, we talked about, you know, the game fun and, you know, it's a little bit in between. You know, but did you have, like, a favorite level or favorite section? Because, you know, it wasn't all blood, sweat, and tears, I'm pretty sure.
No. My favorite level, there's 2. My favorite boss level is absolutely with a silver bullet, and that's a pun because you'll say my favorite boss level was Pinstripe Potteroo. I love that level so damn much. It's fun, it's cartoonish, it's a great idea, it's a great reference to, you know, Scarface and that kind of thing. And it starts en media res, you know, in the middle of things where he's just fucking shooting the place up. I love it.
I would have liked to see the lead up, you know, when Crash comes to the door and then, you know, he has his monologue and then that's when he flips the chairs, the table, and pulls out the Tommy gun.
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing if there was like this long, like way too long, like 13-minute long Patty Chayefsky like diatribe that he goes into about how he is upsetting the natural order of things with his fucking, you know, his jumping spin attacks and all that, you know what I mean? Like, if it was fantastically well written where you're sitting there like, my God, they did not need to do this.
That probably go like, you know, lists of like top most, you know, WTF moments in games, you know, just smack dab in the middle of this platformer that's, you know, for all intents and purposes like lighter fare, but
why the hell not, man, you know? But no, I do like that there's no real explanation. It's just, yeah, he went in, he was like, oh, this is a nice office. Oh, shit, you know, and there's just, I love that. That's my favorite boss level, but my favorite of the just straight up, you know, regular gameplay levels or whatever is it'd be both of them actually. It'd be the High Road. What is it again? Road to Nowhere.
Road to Nowhere, I believe, is the first.
The drawstring bridges.
Yes, I think the Road to Nowhere, and then there's the High Road, which is like the harder version of that.
I don't care. I genuinely like enjoyed playing those, even though I was screwing up, even though I was cursing like a sailor. I enjoyed the ever living funk out of it. I thought it was great.
I'm actually kind of surprised to hear you say that. Although, yeah, I know that there were, and we'll get to that in a minute. There are a couple levels that I think, you know, really kind of broke you, or at least they stressed your mind. But
yeah, no shit, yeah.
But I mean, I guess we don't have to wait. We can get to it now. What was your least favorite part about the game, or least favorite section, whatever? What about this game do you just not like?
Okay, well, Again, I'm gonna. Okay, so look. The one thing that really, really frustrated me about the game, and I'm sure it was on purpose, is the finickiness of the controls. So by that I mean, you know, if you're just a hair off, you're gonna miss the landing and fall to your death. That kind of stuff really, really pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I noticed when I played it for the first time was that yeah, I remember playing the original PlayStation 1 and with the older games they feel a bit stiffer. So when they made the newer version, the controls are tighter and touchier, and it just made it, I don't know if it was on purpose or on accident, but it almost was like playing it again for the first time. But it is a very touchy game because especially with that the depth and where you have to kind of exactly be on the side, or if you're not really on this ledge, then you're totally gone.
Yeah,
But
exactly. That and I can't speak to the older games. I've never, but for the newer one, that I found frustrating throughout the game. But I'd say if there was a level, again, it seems like a lot of levels mirror each other. Like they introduce you to a type of level, and then later in the game you get the the roided out version of that, right?
right, yeah.
Okay, so it would be Sunset Vista, dude. Like after that, I had to go to a sanitarium for a month. You know what I mean? Like I just like that was rough. And then what the fuck is the name of the second one? Slippery Slope. Slippery Slope.
Right.
Slippery Slope was somehow less traumatizing. It was like, imagine the first one felt like D-Day, and then the second one was like the Ardennes forest battle. You know what I mean? Where it was like, all right, I've already been through this. I've already seen like 100 of my buddies' heads blown off.
Right. Yeah. You've been there. You've got the 1,000-yard stare. You've gone.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm done.
It's
I'm
just
done.
like-
I'm Tom Berenger at that point. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I am reality, But Sunset Vista was a fucking nightmare, man. Sunset Vista, and I'm sure you're going to talk about what happened during Sunset Vista.
Oh, actually, yeah. I definitely. Let's just real quick. Let's play the clip where you. Let's play the clip where you broke the fucking couch. Okay, let's roll it.
Fuck!
Did you break something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. That happened, and the reason we had to reshoot it. You probably might have noticed that the time trial, the clock was already there. It's because we'd already played through the level, but the footage was unusable because you beat it, and then I was like, oh my god! It was like I was like, did you break it? And then it was just dead quiet the rest of the episode, and it was so intense. But it was
Dude, I still feel like shit for that. I had to go to fucking IKEA and spend the whole day there trying to, like, I had to, because that couch, they sold it as one, I mean, several pieces, but as one, like, package deal. And they were like, oh, I don't know, you might have to buy the whole thing. I don't know, we'll see, that fucking Swedish thing. And,
which in Atlanta, no one's Swedish. So.
okay, no, it was like,
yeah,
no,
I
it
get
was
it.
more.
It's the face of IKEA.
It was more like, I'm sorry, I can't help you, dude. And I was like, what the fuck? And then finally I was able to find it. I go to your place, and then eventually you helped me, of course, and we put it back together. But yeah, man, I just, I got to be honest. I think more than anything, IKEA should be the one who catches shit for this.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work, buddy. Okay. It was funny because it was not, that was totally not an easy fix, replacement, what have you, because also, we had the other piece, which was fine otherwise, besides, I guess, the armrest part had collapsed. And so for the rest...
it caved in, dude.
Yeah.
It was like fucking Pan's Labyrinth or something. You know what I mean? Like, it was like...
You remember?
Is that too rough?
Yeah. Oh well, I kept thinking Aladdin. When he's in the Cave of Wonders, and then he's in there, and it just starts collapsing and collapsing and collapsing. But like, yeah, no, it was. So I don't know if you were to go back and watch, you'll see that this we have this Game of Thrones blanket that we had to put over, and that was sort of the reminder to not smash the couch.
Never forget.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We'll always remember.
Yeah.
So, look, you've played the game, you beat it,
Yeah.
obviously you remember that the very last episode, which aired with this, where it was just super intense. You got through it, you beat it. Could you see yourself playing this game, or let's just say, because there's Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex, and then there's Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Okay. Okay. So I have an update for everybody. Since we finished playing this, and again, we recorded this series in advance by a couple of months, right? And back when everything was okay. And,
we're not that not conscious of what's going on. It was pre-recorded.
Yeah, I know. That's the one thing. Like, eventually, if you'd have seen it, if we'd have recorded it right then, we'd be like, there'd be a tape measure for 6 feet, and we'd both be wearing fucking gas masks.
Right.
But okay, so since then, I was just kind of fell back into playing GTA 5, right, on PS3. But I got into it where it was like, you know what? I keep hearing Alejandro talk about completionists when it comes to gaming, right? People who got to get 100%.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm sure GTA is not like, the high-class gamer thing. But, I was like, you know what? This is the one I always had. It's kind of, my brainless thing to just put on at the end of the day. And I got to 100% on that. And that felt great. And then when I was done with that...
That's a good thing. That's good. It's good. And just real quick, I don't mean to interrupt.
Thank you.
I know there's a big debate between us, and I know I'm usually on the douchier side, the snobbier side.
Oh, absolutely.
But all I'm saying, and please comment, just throw some stuff in there if you just want to weigh in on this. Right. Yeah, that's at the bottom part. But I don't have a problem with GTA in and of itself. It's one of the biggest game franchises ever. And for good reason. I mean, San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 3 when it first came out. But my thing is, I was like, dude, because that's all you play. That's all you would sit there and play was Grand Theft Auto, and I would be like, hey, you got to play more stuff, and that almost made me hate GTA because I was like, there's so many games. It goes so many different directions. And when I wish we would be able to do it on the show, but we played it. Whereas when I showed you Resident Evil 7, I was like, dude, this games can go anywhere. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. I mean, except outside right now, just because of social distancing. But I will say that I have an update. I have an update to the update I was giving. Okay, so I finished GTA 5. Fucking masterpiece, okay? Guys, don't listen to what fucking snobby ass Dro over here says, right? But after that, I was like, you know what I really want to do? I want to get back into that Crash Bandicoot world. So I went on to the PlayStation Store and purchased Crash Bandicoot 3. What's that one called again? Crash Bandicoot.
That's Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Yes. And I gotta say, and it's the old one. I'm sure did they redo that? Did they redo that in 2017 like everything else?
That's in the Insane Trilogy.
Oh my God, I have got to buy. Oh wait, I would have to have a PS4 though, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Hey, look,
shit.
He's got a Kickstarter. It's give Michael a PS4
and buy him a new kidney.
You're right, exactly. Yeah, preferably the PS4, the kidney.
Yeah, you can live off one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I started playing that, and it's the original, 1998, 99, 2000, whenever that one came out, and it's fantastic. It turns out I really do enjoy that particular world, the Crash Bandicoot world, and I know that from a lot of our fans online, Crash Team Racing, is huge. So I'll probably eventually get into that too.
Oh, that game, I could tear up some Crash Team Racing.
But real quick, Alejandro, you know this about me when it comes to movies and books, is I'm a franchise guy, right? So you remember a couple of years ago, I started reading Stephen King for and then before you know it, I just wanted to read every Stephen King. Same thing with movies. I'm a slasher movie fan, so I'm just very loyal to certain franchises. Same thing with Star Wars and all that shit.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on with Crash Bandicoot right now. Is it was frustrating as hell. But it also, I'll be honest, it felt like I accomplished something big in my life, even though it's a video game. It bled over into other territories of my life, so I think I'm a Crash. But look, you're preaching to the converted at this point.
Well, that's really expose yourself to it. I know I was exposed to it as a kid.
That's illegal.
And easy there, but I it does have certain built-in values. They're fun games. I also think it's like a charming kind of video game. It's simple, It's
Yeah.
but yeah, I love Crash Bandicoot. I'm a lifelong Crash Bandicoot fan, and I love that style of games. I'm actually glad that you when you told me that you were playing Warped, because I love Crash Bandicoot Warped. That was one of my other favorites. I mean, I like the second one. The second one I feel like is one of the hardest, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're a great series to play.
No, really, sincerely, and I gotta say, I've gotten about, I think I'm a quarter of the way through the game, and it's so far it's been a blast, man. I've really enjoyed it. It's a great way, especially right now during all of this shit, to just unplug, throw the phone across the room on silent, and just be this little, rodent, just, like riding like a weird type of fish jet ski underwater that shoots.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I love, or to get to play Coco, to be introduced to Coco.
Yeah, the Great Wall levels where you can where you're riding the tiger. Actually, those are great. Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Oh my God, that was such a fun level. See
yeah.
what I mean? Like, now I know these levels and I can be able to talk about them. Or when you fight Tiny Tiger, who is it's one of those ironic names because he is
Right.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the fat guy named Tiny or whatever. But yeah, no, that's no, but like hopefully it introduces you to games like that. Platformers. Maybe one day you'll play Spyro, which also has a remaster, which is the same type of platformer. What they call the mascot based video games of the PlayStation era, and like Sonic was a mascot of the Sega. It's just like that kind of thing. Okay, so another thing I was wondering about, just in terms of somebody, because I've been playing games all my life, so I take certain things for granted when it comes to my ability to play. Because one of the things I thought was like, timing, hand-eye coordination, even sort of sort of feeling a game's controls, because sometimes like, oh, this is a platformer, I know I'm using these skills, like timing and, watching, or, I'm definitely going to be, have to move fast or whatever. So do you feel like, via playing Crash Bandicoot, do you feel like some of those skills like hand-eye coordination, timing, patience, do you feel like those kinds of things are, because I know you're playing the third, Crash Bandicoot now. Do you feel like that experience you had with that first game is sort of carrying over?
Yes, yeah. I do feel like there is like you were saying a few minutes ago, there is a difference between how the controls felt in the remake versus the older ones, I've noticed from playing this. But the big one for me is actually thinking strategically, which I never did, right? So there's a level in Warped where you play this giant tiger man in like a gladiator setting, right?
Yeah, Tiny Tiger.
Yeah. And when he jumps up and down, I started counting. I was like, okay, so the first time he comes at you, he jumps up and down 5 times. Then when he comes out again, 6 times. Then when he comes out again, 7 times. And he only does it 3 times, right? And in between that, a bunch of tigers come running out of different pits and stuff from underneath the stage that he's standing on, and I was able to time those out a lot better, right? I was able to, okay, you know what, I'm going to stand in this one lane, and I'm going to jump off this one. If I can jump off that first tiger coming out the gate, I can jump off every individual tiger that comes out behind it in that same lane. And doing that, I came up with that strategy and just kind of sensed it naturally, or, whatever, within maybe 3 or 4 tries, I won. And it felt smarter. I wasn't rushing through it just to rush through it, because I thought that's what you did with video games. I thought you just ran through that stuff. And turns out not the case for at least, Crash Bandicoot. So I think I am thinking more in terms of, okay, what do I have to do? What are the steps? Going slower. I think that's been a big lesson. That's been fucking great.
Yeah, that actually, because I was I've been watching these as they premiere on YouTube as well,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool to see because at a certain time, you would get frustrated, but then you would come back to be like, all right, let's wait and let's count out the seconds when a platform will reappear, or how many times certain things rotates before you can do it. And it was actually kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you were starting to think and realize, okay, there are patterns that I need to pay attention to, and there are certain ways to beat this. So that was kind of cool, and I always thought that was like a cool, like, that can be used anywhere. Where you step back, you look at a problem, and you're like, okay, well, how can I beat this pattern? And I don't know, that's one of the cool things about video games that I love. But
No, I would agree. I think I've started to put that towards, work and the kind of stuff that we got going on the, in the, I was going to say on the side, but in the main really is, the stuff that pays the bills. But
right.
yeah, I think in terms of, video juegos, that's been helping big time.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a skill I did not have before. So, and that's the MPVG difference. That's what we offer that others don't.
That's what I'm saying. You get to see this skill building in action. It's emotional, psychological, all of that.
Psychosexual.
Yeah, definitely that. I was gonna say that. That was more for the more astute viewer.
Yeah, that's for the Patreon campaign.
Yeah, they're gonna see deep.
Tier.
Right, they're gonna see deep into this. How deep MPVG goes.
Oh, and it goes fucking deep.
Oh yeah, into the core. Well, so at this point, we've wrapped up the game. We talked about it, and again, I'm super proud of you as my best friend because I've been waiting for years to do something like this, and it's awesome that it's a project and not just like, okay, let's play some games. So now that was the first one. That was our first kind of, we got the show together. We were trying to figure it out,
Well, hold on.
What?
Thanks, man.
Okay. I was like, thought that was going to be more dire. But yeah, no, it's just, it's exciting. But so now we move on to the next game. And this is something that I know I've showed you, and I'm always going on about it. I listen to the soundtrack nonstop. I'm a big fan of this game, and well, originally we were supposed to do a completely different game, but it, now in terms of adapting to the current situation, it had to be different, and so a lot of people are stuck inside, for now. That's the new normal, as everyone's saying. So, there's a lot of ways to socialize, and one of the things is, you can play games together. That's another thing you can do. While we're stuck in this, let's play together. That's a way to connect. And so one of the games, and I feel like it comes full circle because this is one of my favorite childhood games, something that you and me, Michael, can play together is Streets of Rage 2. This is the next game we're going to be playing. And I was so excited to see that they had an online co-op because I was like, oh, great. Okay, we can go ahead and we can play this online. We can go ahead and do, and it's a classic video game. So, Michael and I are going to be delving into Streets of Rage 2. We're going to be taking on Mr. X. Michael, I know you've had a little time to sort of see what that's all about, and I hope that you're ready. That's also another difficult game, but it is a lot of fun. And I know you're also interested in retro games as well, so that's totally what this is going to be about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely something I wanted to get into more. I mean, that's kind of the stuff I've played in the past. Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario Bros. Stuff like that. So yeah, I would be excited for that. That sounds like a hoot, and I'm excited to do it, man. Especially because the thing we were gonna play, we couldn't do it because we have to, do this stuff remote. We don't live far from each other, but it's still one of those things. So I think the fact that we can play a game. Is it online? Is that what you would call it? I mean,
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah, it's not like your basic online game, but I guess that since we both have a PS3 we both got a copy of Streets of Rage 2 from the PlayStation Store. We can go ahead and play this online co-op and go ahead and sort of something that you would never be able to do when this game first came out, aside from sort of the couch co-op. It's kind of cool that we can go ahead and link online and play this game from, the early 90s. So that's super exciting.
Well, the future is now.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I don't know, like that's what I thought for a minute. I was like, okay, we just got the show started and now it's toast. But the thing is that we got to keep on gaming. We got to keep on playing. We have to do the show. And it turned out to be one of the best options for staying at home, playing video games, doing the show, and kind of showing that we can still do this together.
Yeah, dude, I need this so damn much. I mean, just to be able to, have something to, to look forward to, something to be working on, and something to have fun as shit doing. It truly is the life of kings, to quote H.L. Mencken. And I think that we are lucky enough to be able to do it, because there's a lot of people who aren't able to do their work right now. You know what I mean? But you and I are able, but they, hopefully a lot of them do have video games and stuff that can at least take their mind off it for, even if it's just 10 minutes. And if we can add to that, dude, that'd be great, because it's certainly helping me,
Yeah, for sure. And, luckily we've found ways to adapt to the change and everything like that. And I think that comes from, say if you're not immediately super negatively impacted by this, you can kind of look at this thing as a challenge, in the video game sense, be like, okay, this is they've taken away my superpowers, my superpowers are going outside and going in public places. And now how do I keep doing the things? How do I keep continuing without this? And that I see that as a challenge, and I'm kind of excited to do this thing. But
and also gonna do it together, and that also feels amazing right now.
Right? Yeah. No, it does. It was like we didn't have to stop, because again, video games something that we can do together. It does.
Yeah.
It has this weird power that we don't have to be in the same room, but we can play together. So there's a thing, obviously, it's kind of cool because, we just started this channel, and, to our subscribers, thank you so much for, watching our show, and, it means a lot. One thing we'd like to do is give back. And so at the conclusion of this series, we are going to be doing a raffle for a refurbished Sega Genesis. So basically how this works is, if you're a subscriber, or if you're not, go ahead and subscribe.
Yeah, please.
In the comments section, type in hashtag Sega MPVG. All caps.
Again, that is hashtag Sega MPVG.
All caps. And we'll go ahead and we'll obviously, throughout the time that we air, we'll be collecting subscriber names and all that stuff, and we're gonna go ahead and enter you into a raffle. And at the very end, when we do our post-game wrap-up of Streets of Rage 2, we'll go ahead and announce the winner. So we're super excited. Obviously we want to do the Sega Genesis because that's what we're doing. If you're able to game retro, or if that's something that you're interested in, we'd like to provide you with that. Make sure that you, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and start putting hashtag Sega MPVG, all caps, and then we'll go ahead and put your name in the raffle.
And Alejandro, if I may, for a second, I would like to also say, look, you're a person, I'm sure you have some sort of friend or family member that you really care about, and if you care about video games as much as Alejandro does, and you have a friend, it might be hard. This dude,
he loves video games.
But if you have a friend or family member that's into video games as well, I mean, they can be across the world right now. You can't see him play video games online with them. It's been a great chance for me and him to just cut loose, You know, and look, sometimes we play where the cameras aren't on, and I can just sit there bare-assed on my carpet on a Sunday morning, you know, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
been a lot of fun, you know.
It's actually my favorite way to play video games with my nude best friend, Spread Eagle. No shame, you know.
No
That's just the
shame.
way. That's the way God intended us to play video games.
Absolutely.
Well, that does it for this episode of Michael Plays Video Games. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more great videos. And we'll join you next week as we take on Streets of Rage 2. And of course, always remember, KOG, keep on gaming.